Yo, it's Kevin, and this is a follow-up on my other video, the best level 1 loadout you can currently run in Tarkov. In case you haven't seen it, the link will be in the description, and I would recommend you watch that before you watch this. Back to the topic at hand. A viewer by the name of Sion Barzad, sorry if I butchered your name, I tried my best. He posted a very interesting question. How does the MP5 actually stack up to the PP-19 Vidyas SN? On paper there's a lot of similarities between these weapons. They are both the same class SMG that shoot the 9x19 parabellum rounds. Both can be bought at level 1 traders. Both are compact in size and go full auto, and they are usually paired with 30 round magazines. But there's also some distinct differences. This video will be a direct comparison between the two. Fully stock weapons, so no modding, to keep things simple, and also to keep things in line with the level 1 traders. I'll let you know why exactly I personally prefer the MP5 over the PP-19, and I'll show you some of the typical PP-19 recoil patterns and compare them to the MP5s at the end. So to start, the PP-19 is cheaper to purchase. Let's take a look at this first. The PP-19 costs 19k at proper level 1. This is favorable to an MP5, which costs about 40k at Peacekeeper level 1. A standard PP-19 30 round mag will set you back about 2.6k rubles, also at proper level 1. Compared to the 4.5k rubles per 30 round mag for the MP5. We can directly compare the total cost of the standard loadout, meaning a weapon and 3 extra mags, without any ammo or a vest, since those are not variables. The total cost for the basic PP-19 loadout, the weapon itself and its magazines, will cost you 19k for the PP-19 itself and 7.8k rubles for its 3 30 round mags, totaling out at just 26.8k rubles. Compare this to the MP5, where the exact same configuration of the weapon and 3 extra 30 round magazines will set you back 53.5k rubles. Even though I'm not the best at math, this essentially means that the PP-19 is about 50% cheaper to run. So at this point we know that PP-19 clearly wins in the money department. But does that mean it's also 50% worse in terms of performance? Let's take a look at the stats, side by side. Pulling up both the examine menus, with the PP-19 on the right and the MP5 on the left, we can see the following. The MP5 outclasses the PP-19 on every front. Higher ergonomics, where higher is better. Lower recoil stats for both vertical and horizontal, where lower is better. Higher muzzle velocity, where higher is better. And a faster fire rate. 800 rounds per minute on the MP5 compared to 700 rounds per minute on the PP-19. And the added bonus to be able to switch to burst fire mode, an option the PP-19 lacks altogether. This is arguably less important than the other weapon statistics, but it's still something worth noting in my opinion. So, what can we take from these stats? With higher ergonomics you will be faster to ADS with the MP5 rather than the PP-19. This is not very important for the SMGs however, as I recommend point shooting for maximum effectiveness, as I've talked about in the previous video, which is linked in the description. For me personally, just the statistics alone never tell me a complete story. What matters most to me is the real in-game performance, which I'll show you now. I wanted to know if there's actually a difference in the 70 ergo MP5 and the 55 ergo PP-19 when ADSing. It used to be that ergonomics purely dictated your ADS speed, but after some digging around, I actually learned that ergonomics do more than just improve the ADS speed since patch 10.5. I'll include my findings in the conclusion of this video for those who are interested to learn more about ergonomics. So this is the ADS speed for the stock MP5 with 70 ergo. And this is the ADS speed for the stock PP-19 with 55 ergo. I will let you make up your own opinion about if those numbers even mean anything at this point. The Recoil Patterns test will tell us all about the difference in horizontal and vertical spread and the difference in fire rate. According to the examine menu numbers, the MP5 should come out on top here. We're starting off with the PP-19 Recoil Patterns and throw in some MP5 in the mix towards the end. More MP5 recoil testing linked in the description. Like I did in the MP5 recoil testing, I'm purely holding down the fire button and not moving my mouse, so all you're seeing is purely the weapon recoil. What I'm noticing so far from these couple of volleys is that the spread is a lot worse than the MP5s, with especially a noticeable increase in horizontal spread. To give you a quick comparison, here's some MP5 volleys. There's a couple of things that can explain this difference. First, the horizontal and vertical recoil stats in the examined menu. Second, the ergonomics rework that was implemented in patch 10.5. I found a tweet by Battlestate Games in which they talk about the rework and that ergonomics from 10.5 onwards now has influence on Adf Speed like it used to, as well as weapon sway, aim lineup and air quotes other stuff. What exactly this so-called other stuff is, I don't know. But I guess we can safely assume that there is more systems at work here than just the ones we can see in the examined menu. A third reason for the difference in spray patterns, when I was thinking about it, could also be a result of the difference in RPM. When you think about it, the MP5 fires at 800 rounds per minute. That's 13.3 shots a second. The PP-19 fires at 700 RPM, or 11.6 shots per second. This means that the MP5 fires 1.7 more rounds per second than the PP-19. Could this also play a factor in the tighter spray? Think about it. The MP5 has less time to react or recoil to a single round being fired. In theory, this could mean that a second round is already on its way out of the weapon before it even has time to react to the initial one. And if this happens so many times in the space of seconds, this could also result in a drastic decrease of spread. This is just my brain taking a stroll though. I have no proof if this effect even exists, let alone it existing in Tarkov. I am also no gun expert by any means, but I still wanted to include this theory. Could this even be a thing? Feel free to let me know what you think about it in the comments. Alright, so that's been it for me. This video is already carrying on long enough as it is. I hope this video has made it easier for you to choose between these very similar, on paper at least, looking weapons. Have you made up your mind about these two yet? Do you value performance over budget, or the other way around? If you're still watching, please consider leaving a like and click the sub button. Chicky bricky and... Chicky noodles!